All right, guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. As always, I'm your host, Alexis Kraft, joined here with my co host, Jake Ellenbogen, and we're continuing with our 2022 NFL Draft Prospect interviews. And joining us on the show right now, we have Andrew Whitaker, defensive back from Washington University. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. And just to start it off, just want to know what age you started playing football and when it became apparent to you that you could potentially play in the NFL.
So I started young. I didn't want to start football. I was a big soccer kid, and my mom was like, you got to try it. You got to try football. I was 9 years old, and I didn't want to play, but I kept tackling her across the house. And I have a big mom, like she's 6'3". So like tackling, like grabbing her leg, and she's just like, nah, you got to play football. So at 9 years old, I started playing football and I absolutely loved it. And then my sophomore year of college, I started looking at NFL tape and looking at me, and I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. And, growing up, did you watch the NFL at all? And if so, did you have a favorite player?
My favorite player was Troy Polamalu. The hair, like just seeing him go crazy across the field, you'd be like, he's insane. Like the fact that he could just be like the quarterback should just be terrified just to even throw to his side of the field. And then he would also be in the backfield at the same time. There's like 6 of them at the field at the same time. I don't know how he duplicated himself, but I'm trying to figure out how you do that and replicate it. That's amazing.
Yeah, watching him play at the same time Ed Reed was playing, it was like they were two opposite, positions essentially, because one guy was such a ball hawk and he made a name for himself, but Polamalu was like the ultimate, run supportive safety, and he would always be in the backfield, like you said. So, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I remember, watching him. I remember him getting an interception, getting tackled by his hair. So I was always like, man, no one ever picked up on that. But then all of a sudden the tackling by the hair became like a thing,
Yeah.
So no, it's funny that you reminded me about that. But I just want to ask you here on this next question, what made you choose to play football at Washington University?
WashU offered me the opportunity to play both sports, football and track. And it offered me the ability to get an amazing degree in biomedical engineering. And like that combination and being able to actually balance it, not just say you can kind of balance it and we really can and you're struggling, and really have the support to do that. And it's a top 15 academic university in the nation. Like what better can you get? You know what I mean? Like I can, like after football, I have a great degree and I can go become a doctor if I want to, or I can do something else. Like it just gives you so many options, and they have an amazing support structure to do so. And I think the biggest difference from WashU and other schools is the people, right? Like I know a lot of Ivies are highly ranked, but they're also highly cutthroat, and they'll step on each other to get ahead. And that is not how WashU is at all. Where sometimes you say the mantra of like, we're all in the same boat and we're just going to get through this together. And if we're all struggling together. And I love that.
For sure. And, like I told you before the interview, I'm from St. Louis. I'm very familiar with WashU. I've been down by their campus several times, and I've particularly been on their med school campus a lot because now I know it's kind of connected to Barnes Jewish Hospital in that area, Central West End. And it's just so cool. Every time I drive by it, it's just very high tech. It's very modern. And that it's one of the best in the nation. So that's really cool. So before I ask this next question, I like I mentioned, I've read some interviews and it's slipping my mind. Have you already completed your degree, or are you going to continue completing your degree while playing in the NFL?
I've completed my degree basically.
Okay.
Right now I'm in one class. I'm in 3 credits.
Okay.
So I'll graduate this semester.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, it is awesome. And also, yeah, biomedical engineering, you said that it's not easy. And it's especially not easy at WashU. Like you said, one of the top schools in the country. But if you were talking to like an incoming recruit, maybe who also wants to play football, but also wants to go to a very highly ranked school, for education like WashU, how would you pitch the school to them as well as the university, or as well as the football program, excuse me?
First, the school, I would start with the food. I'm a big food guy. And WashU has amazing food. Like the fact that you can get calamari and steak and one of those cookie skillets, the chocolate chip cookie skillets with the ice cream on top. You know what I mean? For meal points, like you already got me sold. I don't know what to tell you. And then you start that. It's like, okay, you got some food. All right. What else you got? You're like, yeah, we got Tempur-Pedic mattresses. In which dorms? All the dorms. Oh, bet. And then you're like, okay. You said top 15 academic school. You know, you got the support. You got the support system. It's like, it's not too big where it's like nobody's going to know you, but it's not too small where if you sneeze, the whole classroom says bless you. Like, it's just right. You know what I mean? It's just right in the middle place. And then for football specifically, I would tell them, you better be ready to work hard. Like, if you don't want to work hard, don't come here. Like, point blank, period. Like, we want to build champions, and that's it. Like, every day you're doing as much as you can, whether that's from like agility to speed to lifting to get stronger. And then after the fact, you're recovering to the maximum of your ability. You're doing everything in your power for your teammates to be the best person you can be come season time. So we're building champions. We're building winners.
That's awesome. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I know you're only in college and you're trying to get in the NFL, but you're already starting to sound like, you know, Jalen Ramsey as a recruiter. So I can only imagine how it's going to be when you get to the NFL. But let's discuss, you know, football a little bit here. You know, I want to know, based on everybody you've gone up against in college, who was the toughest player?
I would say the best receiver I went against is Andrew Comiskey's receiver out of North Central, and he actually holds the record out of all NCAA divisions for touchdowns and for receptions. Like, he's legit. He's coming out this draft too, and he's got the best hands I've ever seen. He's very Cooper Kupp-like. He's in the slot. I didn't get to go against him as much because I'm more of a outside corner, but I was inside a little bit. But he's legit. He's the best receiver. And North Central, they won the national championship when I was there, and they almost won it again this year. So they're the best team, and they're in our conference. So we went against good competition every year.
For sure. And is there a favorite game that you played in during your college career?
I would say my sophomore year, we were playing our new rival because we switched conferences from this really academic, nerdy conference to like the corn-fed boys of Illinois and Wisconsin, just big 6'6", 300-pounder O-linemen. And my favorite game was going against a team called Milliken, and it was an absolute shootout. I'm not gonna lie, I was a sophomore, and no defense was played on both sides. It was just score and score and score. We score, they score, we score, they score, we score. And then I was like, I'm tired of this. And my coach puts me in, and he's like, there's just one receiver, and I hadn't been able to go against him as much. They were normally targeting him on the other side, but he came to my side, and I knew the ball was coming. It was fourth quarter. They were down one score, and I knew the ball was coming. And I was just like, it was me and him, and it was going to be one jump ball to end the game. And he tossed that up. I was like, let's go. And, you know, I came down with that ball, and we won the game, and it went crazy. It was absolutely insane. My teammates came in. I was like, let's go. Picked it off, and it was a game-stealing interception. That was elite.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And, you know, just playing the cornerback position or just any position in the secondary, what would you say, Andrew, is the most important trait to manning that spot?
As the cornerback position, I would say short memory for sure. You probably hear this a lot, but, you know, you're going to have your good days and you're going to have a couple bad plays. And you got to, I mean, for me, a bad play is like a hit. I don't even like giving up a hitch. You know what I mean? A 5-yard, like, I'm already mad. Like, and if I'm mad, we're playing better because I don't want to give up one reception. That's how I like to play. So you just got to be next play and then see how you can build off that for the next play and just keep pushing. Like, I don't care if you got like a 10-yard out on me. I'm gonna be talking the same trash I did right before that. Be like, all right, let's go. See you do it again, because you won't.
That's awesome. And what would you say is your biggest strength as a player?
I would say problem solving. I think it's a unique set of problem solving. I have what I think you would call a competitive IQ. Like, yes, I know everybody's like, oh, I'm competitive, but I really like to bring my intelligence into that. So that means I do every little detail I can to get an edge in the game, whether that's wearing the same color gloves as their jersey, whether that's just studying film so detailed that I know what they're going to do before they did. Like, there was a time where the quarterback had to throw it to the ground on like this bubble screen because I was already there before the receiver. and I was ready to get a pick six to the house. And there was another game where I did get the pick six. So I really love film study. I'm obsessed with it. And I'm obsessed with just knowing the quarterback tendency, knowing the offensive coordinator tendency, and knowing receivers' tendencies. And I think that makes a difference in the game. Like at the NFL, I'm being honest, like most people are on the same talent level. Like there's not a huge gap in physical abilities. I mean, yes, you see those freak athletes, but even they're not that far off. But the mind is where you can separate yourself.
No, I mean, that's a great point. And, I think it's funny because we've talked to so many small school guys. We've talked to guys who've gone on to be, big time NFL contributors. And it's just, I think at the end of the day, competition's competition and talent is talent. And, I don't think it really matters where you come from, because there's always a guy like a Terrell Owens going to Chattanooga, and then all of a sudden now he's one of the greatest receivers ever. Or,
right.
What was it? Cortland Finnegan went to like Samford. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing, is these guys kind of, carve their own path. And it's like, you're carving your own path here, going from WashU to the NFL. But now I want to ask you, in regards to, your game, what is one area of your game that you're looking to improve upon the most?
I think there's two. There's honestly, I could give you a bunch. I'm not one of those people who not going to know his weaknesses. You know what I mean? I like to be super critical of myself. So one of them, I would say, my run fit knowledge. Ever since I switched from safety to corner, I would be in a game, and because the teams that we would lose against would be the run teams, and I'd be making tackles, but I wouldn't know how to fix the problem. And as a problem solver, that sucks. And as a leader on the team and as a leader of the defense, I feel like I let my teammates down by not knowing how to adjust mid game. So run fit knowledge, I've been working my butt off, just to, whatever is GT counters or sweeps or the wide zone offense of the West Coast, it just further my run fit knowledge. And then I would say another thing is creating fumbles. I'm more of a secure tackler. Like I'm a tackler. I'm not gonna miss a tackle, but I wouldn't go for the punch and trip, because I feel like so many guys do that and they miss the tackle. So I want to be able to secure the tackle while creating a fumble. And I think it's hard to do, especially with the guys you got to tackle. It's hard to do both. So I've been trying to get a little bit better at that. And then one last thing I would say is an off man, where you have to match with the receiver with the horizontally, not vertically. I know how fast they're going. I can come in, but you have to close that horizontal space quick enough, but not too quick where they can cut back behind you. And it's a perfect little balance, and it changes receiver to receiver. With tight ends or medium to slowish receivers, it's really easy. But with the fast, with people as fast as me, I got to be able to do that better.
All good points. All definitely, I would say, good areas to improve on. That was a very insightful answer. But this next question is just kind of a fun question. If you had to pick off one quarterback in the NFL,
Tom Brady.
Yeah, that is.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
99.9% of the time, that's the answer we get, but we still ask it anyway, because occasionally we'll get someone else.
If it's not Tom Brady, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, Tom Brady's the greatest player to ever play, and he'll probably be the greatest player. Like, I don't care what team you are, he just is. He's proven too much. But if you're not a player on another team and you don't have the mindset where on that Sunday you're the best player, I don't know what you're doing. Like, he's the greatest player until we play each other. And then on that one Sunday, let's go. And then after that, he can be the greatest player again. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, now I want to ask you, sticking with that kind of fun question, I want to ask you what receiver you'd like to match up most with, in the NFL.
I would say one of them, just like personally, is like DK Metcalf. Just because he's so fast, and he just has he ran like a 10.34 100 recently, and I just want to show my speed. Like I'm a track guy, so I just want to be able to show that I'm faster than him. That's just like a little personal thing. But as far as like people who have just like studied their films, like Devontae Adams, he's so clever on the ways. He's honestly, it's not even like he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's incredibly explosive, but the way off the line where people are too scared to even like press him, you know what I mean? Because of how he pulls your hands in. I would love to go against him. I would absolutely love to go against him.
Both would be very, I think, interesting to go up against. Iron sharpens iron, two great receivers. Definitely, I think would be a good challenge. Maybe not a challenge, but a good memory, I should say, to go up against both of those guys for sure. But during the regular season and on a lot of the off season, we do cover the Los Angeles Rams. So we ask every prospect that comes on our show, have you had any contact at all with the Los Angeles Rams?
I think Los Angeles Rams is one of the teams that's most interested in me. When I went to my first All-Star game, they were one of the teams that first come up to me and give me advice on like stance and patience and technique. And then they've requested for my film. So they've definitely have a good in-depth look on me. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully talking to the Rams soon.
I'm going to say something I've never said in any of our interviews. I'm not surprised. I think you embody what they look for. I think you're absolutely brilliant, and just your recall of the game, and just I'm honestly really impressed. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that a team like the Rams, who are all about culture, and you seem like a very not only well put together dude, very, very intelligent, but it's not just street smarts. It's not just intelligent, at your school. Like, you're football intelligent. I can already see the interest there. I'm excited about that because I'm not surprised, but I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, going into this question here, I just want to know who is Andrew Whitaker as a player and who is he as a person?
I would say there's three things you should know about me, at least from a football aspect. I think one is I'm a leader, and that's everywhere I go. So on the track team, that's making sure, yes, I won national championships in hurdles, but there's a guy right next to me as an All-American that I helped get there. And that we, as a team, won the national championship. That means more to me than my individual national championship. Or for football, same thing. Like, I come to, yes, I've practiced in the spring for track, but you best believe I'm there in the morning, because I know if I'm out there in the morning to coach them up, what do I look like coaching them in the fall? You know what I mean? Like, that's where the real work happens, in the spring, in the off season. The fall is just where you get to produce your results. So I'm coaching up, making sure they have the right technique, making sure they know how to turn at the right point, make sure they're flipping their head and getting to the ball like anybody's ball. So I'm a leader, and I bring it with juice. I'm not one of those like Michael Jordan-esque leaders. I wouldn't say. I'm more of LeBron James side. I'm more positive, but it's just my leadership style, and I've tried to adjust that per person. But that's one thing. And then number two, I would say I just love competing. That's why I play two sports. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't love track. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, I run for like 10 seconds, but I travel like 10 hours. Like, it's a cool sport. And I've even gone to a professional track meet, like the Road to Tokyo Olympic circuit. I was on there to see if I could qualify for the Olympic trials and got pretty close. And it's just very lonely. I'm not gonna lie. The track, my team, not a completely different story. We make it a team sport, but I don't love track. I just love competing. So I'm just, any place I can compete, I'm going to do it. And track has given me a great outlet for that. And I'm addicted. I'm be honest with you. Like, it's a problem. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's like, I'm addicted. It's okay. I can admit it. And then the last thing I would just say is speed. I have this thing. And if you ask my coach, or you just ever see me actually compete, it's like, if you ever played Madden, I would call it one of my X factors, where I will be faster than that, whoever is the fastest person is. And that's why, like, my true speed is faster than my 40 speed, but it's only if I'm running against someone. And you can see it through my track history. I'm winning every race, and I'm just national champion, whatever, 8-time All-American. But it doesn't matter if I'm in shape. It doesn't matter if I ran or if I'm hurt. Pain is a mindset, and I'm just going to be faster than you. So speed, leadership, and competitiveness. I would say those are three things that make up Andrew Whitaker.
That's awesome. I mean, we are big fans. I'm now an even bigger fan after talking to you, and that is not a bias because of my appreciation and respect for WashU. I think that you've really blown us both away in this interview. We're definitely excited that the Rams have spoken to you, because we would love for you to end up on the Rams. We'll be fans no matter where you go. But for us, we would love for you to end up on our team, the Rams, because it would make watching you that much more fun. But to close this out here, we have 3 non-football related questions that we like to ask because we love recommendations. So if you could please recommend us a TV show, an album, and a snack. Those 3 things.
TV show. Okay, my snack. There are these. I don't like popcorn unless I'm watching a movie, but this is gonna sound super hypocritical, but it's okay. I like these things called. They're like kettle chips. I don't know. What are they called?
Yeah,
like
I think I've heard of those.
They're so good. They're in a red bag and they taste like popcorn. Oh my
God, I have those. They're so good.
They're my favorite snack in the world. I have like 30 of them in my house. I like to eat healthy, but they're so good. Actually, they're pretty healthy. I'll be honest with you. And then number 2, I want to think of an album. Like my favorite album, I'm a big J. Cole fan, so like the off season is on repeat in my house. But there's this guy named. This is a little alternative, but I think you guys have diverse music tastes here. Here we go. His name is Tom Misch. I'm not great, but his album called Geography, and he just has like some cool vibes. I don't know if you just like the vibe. Like he's got a song called Movie and a song called Disco Yes. And I have a big range of music, but Tom Misch, Misch. He's a new guy that I've been vibing to. And then for TV shows, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't watch a ton of TV. I haven't found a lot of time, but there is one TV show that I watch, and this is also gonna sound really nerdy, but it's called Young Justice. And it's on HBO Max, and it's for children, but it is not for children. Like the layers of this TV show, like oh my, like one, I love superheroes. Like I'm a big Marvel DC guy, but like this TV show goes to get like. It'll go deeper than like real world, like real TV shows, like Young Justice on HBO Max. It's so good. No, it's like, you're going to be like, wow, they really did that. And it showed, yes, like it's crazy. And it's like superheroes. Like, come on.
Hey, I know what you're talking about because I think the last person we talked to, they said SpongeBob, and they're like, I don't know, I just appreciate it more as I've gotten older. And I'm like, yeah, it's the layers like you're talking about because it's made for kids, but it's made in a way that kind of hides the little innuendos that are more for adults. And it does it well enough where as you get older, you start to like kind of level up in a sense, and you know the things they're talking about. No, I know what you mean. Is that like Justice League?
It's Justice League, yeah. Justice League. It's like it follows like the sidekicks of like Robin, you know what I mean? Like those type of like Superboy. It follows the sidekicks of the Super and like their like rise, and that's what it's basically about. Like they're not trying to be sidekicks and trying to be real heroes and the like morality or social like whatever. But it's layers. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, what? Like it's better than SpongeBob. I'll say that. And I like SpongeBob.
There's 2 that I would recommend if you're into that. First off, the original 90s Spider-Man is just, I mean, anime. It's undefeated. It's so good if you've never seen that.
Watched them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It literally covers the entire landscape, all the villains, the multiverse. Like it puts it all into. So it was way ahead of its years. And then the other one I would say is an actual adult cartoon. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Invincible, and I couldn't believe I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I think
Invincible's elite. Invincible's good. I've watched Invincible. The Spider-Man one, I'm gonna have to ask you later about which one because there's like 30 Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's I know it's in the 90s. It's weird because it doesn't really have like a title. It's just like Spider-Man, but I know what you mean because they made one in the 80s. They made 5 other ones, but no, it's got basically the whole Spider-Verse, which is being, introduced in the MCU. It's got like Dormammu, Doctor Strange, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Yeah, it's like out there. Like I still can't believe they did that in 21-minute episodes, but the thing is a masterpiece. It's so beyond its years.
I like it. I'll look into that one for sure.
Jake, where can he find it? Like, do you know where it's streaming?
Yes. It is on, I think actually now it's on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, the whole thing is on there. And like the new movie, like Morbius, like they cover the Morbius arc. They cover Blade. Like it's really cool. I ended up like binging it. I think it was like last year, and I couldn't believe how far ahead of its time it was. So yeah, I just like the storytelling in it. And I know Stan Lee had a huge hold on that show where like he had a lot of control, and I think that's why it ended up being as good as it was.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I love those type of shows.
I love it. And I love that you knew Invincible too. Cause like I've mentioned that to people like, why am I watching this? And then they're like, from the first episode. You can't even like talk about it because it's like you'll just give spoilers, but like from the first episode, you're hooked. I know. And you just don't see it coming. Cause like I watched The Boys, which is like live action version of it almost. And then I turned that on because someone mentioned it on Twitter and I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's funny.
Well, now I got to watch Invincible.
Yes, you do.
Because I feel left out. I do like superhero stuff, so I feel like I would like Invincible. But anyways, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really, really appreciate it. I am so glad we were able to make this happen. I know I messaged you like a crazy person and was like, hey, can you come on our show in a few hours that we're doing? I know it's last minute, but we really would love to have you on, and you totally made it happen, which I really appreciate, because I know it's a very busy time for you, and we're very, very excited to see what happens in the draft and where you end up, and we'll be following you along. We'll stay in touch and stay healthy. Almost there, like 8 days now, I think.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun. Like, if you want to do it again, I'm here. Like, it's a lot of fun.
100%.
Absolutely. Well, we're hoping that you're wearing that helmet over there. But like Alexa said, no matter where you go, we're fans. And I mean, we could talk about this stuff anytime, man. I'm gonna hit you up with a follow. I'm sure you're on Twitter. So
right. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Sounds good. Well, you have a great rest of your night. And like I said, we'll be in touch, and good luck.
Thank you.